Good evening or afternoon, everybody. Back here with another video for you all. So we'll get started on that. We're going to be in first aid today, as we've kind of always been. So you're going to open that up. We're going to start down in respiratory, of course, because we're still in pulmonology. And you're going to open physiology section, and you want to go down to 7, oxygen content of blood. And we activated a few more cards here. So this top section. So if yours is organized like mine with this arrow pointing down in the sort field, grab these 4 here, and then you will come down and there's these two cards here that will be helpful to have. Yeah. So that is it for 7. And then you want to go to cyanide or just the poisonings, and we'll be in carbon monoxide. We just activated a couple more, just this one here and this one. So just these 2, and you should have the rest from my previous videos. And then you want to go down to 17, the high altitude response. So the first card, skip 1, grab the next 2, skip 2, grab those 2, and then the last one. And then we're going to venture out of respiratory, and we're going to start in GI. And we're going to pick up some other cards, or some cards here on the disease, the Gilbert syndrome. That's not pronounced Gilbert syndrome. So you'll be in pathology, and you want to scroll down. So let me back up. First aid, GI, pathology. Then scroll down past all these numbers till you hit 43, hereditary hyperbilirubinemia. Open that up, and then the Gilbert syndrome is right there. And I just picked up these last 3 cards. I'm not going to focus too much on the other diseases mentioned because they weren't bolded and directly mentioned in a learning objective. So I would study them, read the PowerPoint, but here's some cards on the high yield one, I think. But that is hit in here for GI. So once you activate these 3, you can minimize this. It's a long list. Minimize, minimize. Then we're just going to jump down 1 to hematology, oncology. You're going to open that up, go to pathology, and we're going to start in the, or I think, yeah, we'll start in the microcytic hypochromic anemias. You want to go to beta thalassemia, and we'll start in the basics. So basics, I activated these first 2. I also have these 2 down here. Those were activated from another video. So your only new cards, let me organize that again. Same, should be these first 2 cards here. And then we'll go to alpha, and I only have activated these 4 cards here. So this card, and then the 2 up from the bottom, these 2. And then in the beta, activated these 2 cards here, talking about the genes that are like the abnormal genes that lead to the diseases. And then you skip 1, and then the 2 after that. Those are helpful. And then when you scroll all the way down, this one is helpful as well, kind of talking about how the pathology comes about from beta thalassemia. So those are the cards there, and then you can minimize 5, but we're not done here. We want to go to the extrinsic hemolytic anemias. Open that up, and then we have sickle cell anemia. So this one, there's a lot of cards in this category, but I didn't activate any in the bottom. So if your screen is scroll up to the top, your arrow is organized like this, you should be able to kind of find these cards. So the only one, the single one, is just talking about the inheritance, autosomal recessive, because of that was bolded and mentioned. So in the learning objective, so I grabbed that one. And then if you scroll down quite a bit, you will get to these 4 cards here, talking about what happens when you change the proteins within the red blood cells. So this is talking about the stiffening and the sickling of the red blood cells. But these 2, and then these 2 down here talk about like the disease, like whether you have the disease or not. So kind of differentiating between heterozygotes and then homozygotes for the disease alleles. So those 4 will be helpful. But otherwise, I wouldn't stress too much about all the other cards here, because that goes into a lot of clinical stuff. But that is it for this video. So I hope you find this helpful. And then enjoy the weekend and happy studying.